We appreciate you spending part of your evening with us. That is Nightly News for this Friday night. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, thank you for watching and good night.
Welcome to Weekend Edition. I'm Crystal Paco. So glad you could join us. It's an endless cycle that Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson calls a revolving door. Every few months, the Prosecution Division is forced to replace yet another attorney who's moved away or moved on to private practice. What can be done to bring stability to the agency charged with administering justice? She shares her thoughts on mandates that could be doing more harm than good. Moving out or moving on to private practice. Every few months, there are new faces representing the government in criminal cases.
5, 6 new prosecutors running through.
Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson is talking about their latest hires. Though 24 attorneys strong, that's 23 assistant attorney generals and 1 chief prosecutor. It's an endless battle for stability. Government attorneys, she says, are hard to keep, thanks to mandates like the Competitive Wage Act.
That reduced our experienced lawyers' entry level down and returned us to what's called the attorney salary scale that's been in place for 25 years.
That's in addition to another mandate that requires government attorneys to pass the KUAM bar.
They have to take the bar within 3 and pass it within 5. When I was Attorney General 26 years ago, attorneys in the government did not have to take the KUAM bar. Yes, we are practicing here before the courts of Guam, but my position was if they are government lawyers, then let them stay as government lawyers. They're not out there in the private sector to compete with the private sector. They're government attorneys. They are here to service the people of Guam.
The reason she wants to ban the bar requirement for government attorneys, it's an invitation for private firms.
So we bring a new lawyer in, and they might stay another 5 years, or they might be willing to take a Guam bar and pass the Guam bar, and then adios. The moment you get them barred, then it becomes an opportunity for them to go out of the office. So this is the landscape. This office is the largest law firm. We bring lawyers to Guam. Many of the members of the Guam bar were lawyers that were hired by this office and then have become good members of our Guam bar. So we bring them to Guam. We pay this massive amount of money of recruiting, of transportation, of training them and bringing them in. And then a law says, and they have to be, they have to take the Guam bar. And by God, once they get their ticket, I'm admitted to the Guam bar. What do you think will happen?
Banning the bar requirement doesn't lower the bar, she argues.
If there's any fear from the people of Guam or the members of the Guam bar that we are not hiring qualified or good quality attorneys, that's just not the case.
As for their prosecution rate, she says justice is not measured by percentages.
The Office of the Attorney General is here to do justice, to administer justice, and not administer a fantastic prosecution rate or how many trials did we win by convictions, how many trials did we lose by acquittals, how many cases were dismissed against our objections. That's not what we're here to.
While residents brace for budget cuts, one senator has proposed legislation that would give the governor the authority to cut, consolidate, or privatize non-essential agencies. Senator Frank Guggen Jr. addressed Rotarians this week on the Government Priorities Act of 2018.
The bill prioritizes education, health, and public safety and gives the governor the means necessary to prioritize, reorganize, and stabilize the government without raising taxes. Bill 247 simplifies the multitude of statutes, rules, regulations, and policies that have proliferated over the years. the primary effect of which has made reorganization difficult.
Bill 247 is up for public hearing on March 7th. To read the bill in its entirety, visit guamlegislature.org. There's more behind the slipping grades. A training through UOG Cedars for Department of Education teachers, counselors, and support staff was held at the Dusitani, part of the Positive Behavior Intervention and Supports Program. Carmen Terlahi has the story.
It's a training so teachers are armed with the skills to instill positive behavior. Doris Bukikosa, project coordinator of the Student Parent Engagement Project, explains.
Just because we have a child sitting in our classroom, there's so much more to the child that we don't understand. And that's really what this is focusing on, looking at the child, everything holistically.
She says they work with tough kids who often have multiple discipline referrals or attendance issues, problems that add up at home.
When we actually look at the whole child, we have to factor in other challenges or contributing factors. So the socioeconomic issues, possibly dysfunctional families or inconsistent expectations or practices at home. So there's a whole lot of issues that the child actually faces, comes to school and brings all of those issues and baggage with them.
The goal being to see their students overcome the hassles and turn the tassel at graduation.
The goal really for the department is for the student to graduate either career ready or college prepared, and we can't do that if we're just going to kick them out. It doesn't really matter to us what issues the students are facing. We look at it as it's the student and the family that we also need to work with. They're our partners in this and helping our student progress and be successful.
Successful and ready for any challenge that lies ahead. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Prom season is upon us. While it's important to make those high school memories to last a lifetime, primping for the event is simply too expensive for some teens. The suit, the dress, the tickets, and the corsage, it all adds up. But don't believe in fairy godmothers? This next story might just change your mind. Cinderella would have never made it to her ball without some help from her fairy godmother.
You're like a godparent for the day, and we take the kids in, and they're actually given like a personal shopper, and so they're allowed to, we have dressing rooms, they're allowed to try on as many outfits as they want, and so the personal feeling is the kids just go away with just feeling so good.
Pinky Lujan is the public relations specialist for the Guam Chamber of Commerce. And this weekend, the Chamber Business Women's Network is hosting their 4th annual Boutique Day. The event is the highlight of their Nina project.
The kids, when they come, it's a really fun experience because it's one thing they don't have to stress about is cost.
For weeks, the group collected inventory, lightly used suits, dresses, and gowns, shoes and accessories like neckties and jewelry to make the free boutique day possible.
A lot of women on Guam, they buy a dress, spend over $200-300, and they use the dress once. So it's really nice to be able to pay it forward and donate it for such a worthy cause.
For weeks, the Chamber has made call-outs to high school juniors and seniors who may need the assistance of the Nina Project. Last year, upwards of 80 teens made it to their big event with the Chamber's help. If you're a teen who couldn't make this weekend's event, call the Guam Chamber of Commerce at 472-6311. Beauty professionals are also welcome to call the Chamber if they want to donate their services.
Prom is just a part of that overall experience in being in high school, and so it's just a memory. It's part of the memories of being, and the thing is, when you're that young, they say it's okay, if it's no big deal not to go to prom, but it really is, and and that's why it's such a feel-good project for us, because we're helping them go, and so there won't be any regrets later. I wish I went to my prom,
How to make your art your business, finding value in creativity. That was the theme for a recent talk by Tal Pacific Design's owner and artist, Joseph Certeza. Certeza's fashions boast locally inspired patterns and motif hand-printed onto fabrics and made into clothes, which debuted at the Festival of Pacific Arts.
I wanted to make it functional, and that's where fashion came into play. As an artist, something to learn is that you always have to work from the bottom up. You can't just become an artist and just be big. Not everyone has that kind of opportunity. I actually was, after high school, I was just a typical delinquent. I didn't care anything about culture until 2007 to 2010, where I went out to San Jose for school at De Anza Community College. And this is my awakening moment. Without this period of time in my life, I wouldn't be who I am today.
As an Indigenous artist, he says he always uses his work to honor those before him. He was able to make his dreams a reality with the help of the SBDC and the GUMA grant. The list of candidates picking up packets for this year's election is growing. While it's a gubernatorial year, we could also see quite a few changes at the legislature. KUAM's Nick Delgado kicks off our weekly Election Watch special.
Less than 4 months left before anyone running for elected office has to file candidacy with the Guam Election Commission. GEC Executive Director Marie Pangilinan says her team is gearing up for what's becoming a highly participated one. So voters up on the ballot this year?
We're going to have the gubernatorial teams on, governor, lieutenant governor. We're going to have the congressional delegate. And on each side of the primary ballot, we're going to have 15 Democrats, 15 Republicans. We're also going to have on the primary ballot, we're going to have the nonpartisan seat of Attorney General.
Also, she says there are 3 seats up for Consolidated Commission on Utilities, 6 seats for Guam Education Board, and judicial retention questions for judges and justices. So let's take a look at the 2018 primary election candidate packet logs. So far, more than 30 people have picked up packets vying for a seat, 33 for senator, 5 for governor, 1 for CCU, 3 for delegate, and 1 for attorney general. The last election saw a major upset with 7 new senators coming out on top and changing the makeup of more than a half of the legislature. Based on the list, incumbent senators Will Castro, Joe San Agustin, Luis Muña, Mary Torres, and Regine Bisco-Lee plan to throw their hat in for the 35th Guam legislature. While it's still too soon to say, incumbent Speaker BJ Cruz, Fernando Estevez, and Tom Atta reportedly won't be seeking re-election. Current senators Frank Hooken Jr. and Dennis Rodriguez Jr. are pulling away from their senatorial seats as they are both going head-to-head to be the next governor, while Michael San Nicolas is going up for Washington delegate. That could mean at least 6 incumbents out. Also signing up hoping to make a return, former senators Adolfo Palacios, Tina Muñoz Barnes, and Roy Respicio. Whether these listings will stick remains to be seen. Candidates are given until June 26 to file. Pangilinan says preliminary work on the ballot is already underway.
I invite more potential candidates. The more potential candidates we have, the more voters will participate. So we encourage anybody that has any inclination to run to please come in and pick up packets. Let us know how Guam Election Commission can help you with your packet and your quest to become an elected official.
And voters, be sure you are registered. Primary election is set for August 25th. Reporting for Guam's News Network, Guahusi Nick Delgado.
Stay tuned next on Weekend Edition, Trend Spotting with Asha Robles and the Guam Crime Stoppers Report.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
you get nervous about having dental treatment, you're not alone. An estimated 35 million adults experience anxiety or nervousness at the simple thought of visiting the dentist. As your dentist, I strive to make your visit as painless or pain-free as possible. And I frequently tell my patients that in the 21st century, if we can give you medicines to put your tooth asleep or medicines to take an infection or toothache away, we can surely give you something to help relax you and take all fear away. No one ought to sit in a dental chair thinking of bad childhood memories or fearing injections. If you're a dental coward, but you really do want your teeth fixed, don't wait until the pain is killing you. Come in, tell us your fears, and set up an appointment. We have convinced many that dental treatment doesn't need to be scary anymore. For your helpful dental minute, I'm Dr. Kenny Bourgeois of Paradise Smiles. You shall never know all the good a simple smile can do.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Welcome back to Weekend Edition. Although our team's got you covered 24/7, there's always a few stories that really get our online community hitting their likes, dislikes, or flooding our feeds with emojis. Joining us now with this week's Trend Spotting is Asha Robles.
It wasn't marathon sessions at the Guam Congress Building or Bree's crazy antics on In the Mix that got people talking this week, but once again, it was the Department of Corrections. It wasn't the first time, but the second time, as in many weeks, the Department of Corrections mistakenly released an inmate from jail. Inmate Franklin Afaji is a repeat offender with multiple drug cases. DOC management said the mistake was in part due to their antiquated computer system. Tony Lamaretta adding an internal affairs investigation is underway. And while he gets to the bottom of what happened, on social media, people are sharing their thoughts on DO Free. RJ Mesa on Facebook says, the director has to take responsibility for all the things happening at DOC. When you have an idiot heading up this agency, you will have idiotic, stupid things happening. Rick Sanchez says, when are people going to realize these things aren't mistakes? This was paid releases. Just like the last one, paid off guards to let prisoners go. The recent school shooting in Florida has the world talking, including a little girl in Guam who wrote a letter to the governor and Department of Education. 10-year-old Kirsten San Nicolas is a 4th grader at Juan M. Guerrero Elementary School. She wrote the letter to let island leaders know that she doesn't feel safe at her school. Her words prompted the online community to respond. Here are some of their comments. Dirk Matthew says, definitely a proud father. Thank you so much, KUAM, for giving my daughter the opportunity to voice her concern. We're hoping to hear from the governor and superintendent. Thank you all, and God bless. Beneventi Middle School PTO says, effective communication is needed most in the event of a crisis. Put an intercom or a PA system in every school. Let's make schools where all our students and staff feel safe and appreciated. Now, meet one of my new best friends, Faha. As part of a feature on Invasive Species Week on KUAM News Extra, she paid a visit to our Harmon studios, and I couldn't keep my hands off her. She also got a lot of you talking on our social media. Here are some comments. Allison Seibert says, I swear I saw one of those birds the other day on NICTAMS. Joyce Stewie comments, at work also 4 of them. And Patty Sablon says, I miss seeing them roam freely growing up. And finally, Skip Dancers once again a big hit. They were recently featured in Azukita, a new music video from Steve Aoki, Daddy Yankee, and Elvis Crespo. It seems everything they touch turns into gold. Way to go, Skip! These are just some of the popular stories on our social media. I'm Asha Robles with Trend Spotting, and don't forget, register your email for KUAM Digital Digest, our weekly newsletter that sends the top stories and biggest conversations each week in your inbox. You can sign up on our homepage. Keep those likes, comments, engagements, and emojis coming. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Asha. More when Weekend Edition returns.
Guam is more than a tiny island in the Pacific. This magical place is where I call home. This island inspires me to learn and explore what's around me. It teaches me that there are no shortcuts in life and that the long way home may just be the scenic route. And that even the dirt roads can lead you to beautiful destinations.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Cars Plus and Mighty has the trucks. And during Ram Truck Month, save up to $97.50 on new Ram trucks. Cars Plus has a great selection of 2018 Ram trucks. Plus, shop our remaining 2017 Ram 1500s. Voted Guam's best truck 2 years in a row. The Ram truck comes with a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. And with 1.99 APR financing for qualified buyers, there's no better time to buy than now. It's Ram Truck Month, and only Cars Plus and Mighty has the trucks. Cars Plus, driven by you.
All right, everybody, one thing you may have thought as you make your way around Guam is, if I see something weird, I know I have to alert authorities to it, but is there a difference between reporting suspicious activity or reporting a legitimate crime? Fortunately, we have the man with many, many stripes on his lapel, and that's why you're the Sarge. Paul Tapal, Hafaday.
Hafaday, thank you for having me again.
Okay, so I've always been confused about this topic. What is the difference as far as the law is concerned between a suspicious activity and a legitimate breaking of the law crime?
Well, you know, when we say that, you know, some people tend to see it as being vague, but just to really summarize it, a suspicious activity, and we'll take a neighborhood, for instance, okay? You have pillar families that's been living there in that neighborhood. So if we take the four-corner approach and what we use for our neighborhood watch program, they have a common occurrence that always happens, routine that's always going on. Now, a suspicious event may be a different car that's coming in, or a suspicious activity can be different types of people coming in into the area that you know that it's maybe out of the ordinary. And these are some of the things that we ask the citizens to take note of, because these are some of the activities that may lead to a criminal act. Now, the criminal side, the criminal aspect, is an actual crime in progress. You know, if you know your neighbors, you know, again, we're taking the four-corner approach. If you know your neighbors and you know that that vehicle does not belong to your neighbor, and you see somebody that's not there, and they're walking out with the bush cutter or the gardening tools, then you know that a crime, like that suspicious act, had now evolved into a criminal act. And, you know, we should encourage the community to, it's an immediate crime. You really do need to call the proper authorities, know what to report, where you're at, your location, description. Give your name. If you don't want to give your name, you can remain anonymous. But an immediate act, in order to get our officers on scene, we need to be able to give good direction of the location. So it's really important that you understand the difference between the two. Now, to report a suspicious act, you know, when we work with the Neighborhood Watch program, we talk to the community members that are part of that. We tell them to take note of it. If it's a reoccurring, if it's a, you know, if it's a frequent trend that's going on, then that's something that maybe we can take a look into to find out what this activity that's going on. Because you may not see the crime that's happening, but it's the precursor for something criminal may happen.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying I'm one of those people who decides I want to save my own butt, but we do get a certain amount of feedback, and people say, you know, if I see something weird and it winds up being nothing, but I report it, could I possibly get in trouble? I'm just trying to look out for my community and, you know, protect my neighborhood, but if I falsely report something, will that come back on me?
No, 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 you won't. Nothing will happen to you, because, you know, that is your neighborhood. You know what's in order and what's out of order. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being wrong.
I don't get charged if GPD comes out and, you know, patrols by.
No, you're not going to get charged or anything. You know, if you see that something suspicious is happening, go ahead and give us a call. Cursory check can be made by the officers and stuff, because now we're starting to see the evolution of the Neighborhood Watch program to where the constituents that are part of the Neighborhood Watch program, they're trained in the look, listen, and report. And, partnering with Homeland Security, we've adopted that see something, say something. And we empower the constituents in how to report it. How do you report a suspicious activity, and how do you report an actual crime in progress while remaining calm and while giving all the information? So no, to answer your question, you're not going to get in trouble. It's okay to be wrong, but we know that you're looking out for the welfare of not just yourself, but your respective community.
And if there's one thing I've learned from you in the years that we've been doing this segment, it's better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let the professionals come out to make a check. We'll do a cursory check, and we have the technology to run the vehicle's license plates, and of course run their names and Social Security to see in the event if they should be in that respective area. Okay, well, with that in mind, what do we got for this week's Crime of the Week? This week, unfortunately, is the burglary to a vehicle complaint that happened in Kamwitik in Zonia. And now this is 10 vehicles, so we're asking the community, if you saw something suspicious happening on the 9th of February 19th or the 18th, to please provide us with that crucial information. Okay, well, Zonia is a very, very tight-knit community, as are all the villages, but let's what we can do to help the good people down in Zonia. The Guam Police Department is investigating a rash of burglary to vehicle complaints that occurred in Kamwitik in Zonia. The preliminary investigation suggests that on Monday, February 19, officers from the Higaño Precinct Command entertained 10 burglary to vehicle complaints in the village of Zonia. Through the course of the investigation, officers discovered that all vehicles had been rummaged through by unknown individuals and that no damages were noted to the vehicles, indicating that the vehicles were left unsecured. The investigation further suggests that the officers estimated the time frame of the incident was between the hours of 9 p.m. Sunday, February 18 through 5 a.m. Monday, February 19. There are no suspects identified at this time. The Guam Police Department would like to remind the public to please lock and secure your cars when left unattended. Try not to leave your valuables or high-end items exposed or in plain view when your vehicle is left unattended. Get involved in a neighborhood watch program in your community, either by joining an active watch program or simply reaching out to your respective mayor to inquire how to form a watch program. If anyone has any information about this crime or any other crime, you can call our 24-hour hotline at 477-HELP, that's 4357, or submit a tip online at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. All calls will remain completely confidential, and a cash reward of up to $1,000 could be paid if the information provided leads to an arrest and a grand jury indictment. Your call does make a difference.
Okay, Paul, as always, I've used your website. Your mobile tools are fantastic. All the online stuff you got. Let people know how they can hit you guys up.
You can call our 24-hour hotline at 477-HELP, that's 4357. Visit our website at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. Our P3.com software, it's actually it's been very helpful for me, and it's very, like we've discussed, it really allows me to receive that information online. So guam.crimestoppersweb.com or 477-HELP.
All right, Paul, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you, my brother.
We're glad to have you here disseminating information. GPD picked the right man for the job.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And please stay tuned, everybody, because we will be right back after this.
The Down Syndrome Association of Guam exists to support families of individuals with Down syndrome. We're a group of parents who have children with Down syndrome and know the joys and challenges of raising them. For more information about the health, development, and education of a child or adult with Down syndrome, please contact Vicky Areola at 472-6114.
Cars Plus and Mighty has the trucks. And during Ram Truck Month, save up to $97.50 on new Ram trucks. Cars Plus has a great selection of 2018 Ram trucks. Plus, shop our remaining 2017 Ram 1500s. Voted Guam's best truck 2 years in a row. The Ram truck comes with a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. And with 1.99 APR financing for qualified buyers, there's no better time to buy than now. It's Ram Truck Month, and only Cars Plus and Mighty has the trucks. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Why is tourism Guam's #1 industry? Tourism benefits our economy. Visitors come to our shores to experience our island. More tourist spending means more dollars flowing into our economy. Tourism creates jobs. From bell service to front desk to tour agents, more jobs mean more opportunities. Tourism builds businesses. From hotels to shops to restaurants, more businesses mean more dreams come true. Tourism preserves our culture. In the visitor industry, culture takes center stage. Celebrating our culture means keeping our traditions alive. Tourism keeps our land and waters clean. It all adds up. Tourism improves our quality of life. It helps make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Tourism works for Guam.
And before we close out our news tonight, here's our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Happy birthday, Matt Laguatnia. Happy 40th birthday to our daddy and my husband. Love the family. Happy birthday, Nia Ray Dolores Hagagmunya. Also celebrating this weekend, happy birthday to you, Ethan Daniel Cabrera Guzman. Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. That's all the time we have from all of us here at Guam's News Network. Thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.